Welcome everyone to our special edition of Into the Mist for the season finale, part 1, this evening on All Hallows Eve. Now, I'm not going to wear this thing the whole time. I had to do something for Halloween. But welcome everyone. We're excited to dive in tonight. Again, this is a special Friday night edition. This is part 1 of our Into the Mist finale. We will be doing another one on Monday. That will be the second part of our season finale. We want to get through some quick announcements before we start, and then on to the terror that is our finale. First off, I want to thank Dungeons & Dragons, as usual, of course. Without their sponsorship, we wouldn't be able to do this, so we're so happy to have them along for the ride. We are not live on the D&D Twitch tonight, but they will be airing this, as my understanding, potentially on Monday ahead of our other stream. Beetle and Grimm's as well, main title sponsor. You can check out their Curse of Strahd box. You will get a promo code on Monday for 10% off of their Curse of Strahd experience. It's amazing. Check it out and don't miss it. Sirenscape as usual, sirenscape.com/RealmSmith. And tonight we will be using mostly the Hopeless Village sound set from Sirenscape. If you go to sirenscape.com/RealmSmith and then in the search bar, type in RealmSmith, you'll get all of the sound sets that we use on an ongoing basis. Product sponsors, of course, WizKids. We'll be using some awesome WizKids minis tonight from one of them specifically from the Fangs and Talons set that is recently released. We have some Dwarven Forge terrain on the table that you can see that we'll be using. Hero Forge has supplied us with all of our character miniatures, all the player character miniatures. Mithril Armory has a new Kickstarter that is almost closed. If you go to critmis.mithrolarmory.com, that is O-R-Y, not the Queen's English spelling or the Canadian spelling. Critmis.mithrolarmory.com. You can check out their Kickstarter. They're awesome Critmis ornaments or D&D or fantasy-based ornaments for Christmas, and they're closing today, successfully funded and doing very well. And then, of course, D&D Beyond, who regularly supply us with giveaways, which we'll be talking about tonight. In order to be entered into the giveaway, we will be using the word Hallow, Hallow. Enter that into the chat, and you will be entered into an opportunity to win a digital version of Curse of Strahd for your D&D Beyond experience. Don't miss it. Again, enter Hallow, Hallow, into the chat, and you will be entered. Again, hello to our Discord community. We have a roleplay Discord community who roleplays on a daily basis. They're constantly crafting items. You'll see how some of that works in our session tonight. And last week we had them involved in a bits battle, and our elders of our Discord community actually appeared on camera. And they have a storyline that runs kind of parallel to the stream storyline, and what they do in their quests and online affects what happens in our world on the live stream, and those streams cross quite often throughout the season. So you can check that out. The way that you enter our Discord roleplay community is by either subscribing at tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, or you can subscribe with your Twitch Prime account at tier, and that puts you into the tier 1 category. If you do that tonight, this will go either purple for following us, or blue for subscribing, or green if you spend some bits to let us know that you're out there. But then you'll be entered, there you go, there's another subscription, and you'll be entered into the roleplay community, which will kick off again after the finale in Tides of Wildmount, which will be premiering our second season in November, and that is mid-November, and we will have the exact date of when that is on Monday, so stay tuned for that. Huge thank to our Smith Guardians. They're our moderators, they are our quest givers, they're those that manage the entirety of our Discord community. We want to thank those guys for everything they do. We reached our extra life goal for this season. It was amazing, $5,000. I want to thank everyone for your support through that, and the characters will be receiving some of those items possibly tonight that they got through your expenditure on Extra Life for the kids. It's never too late to give more, and there is a widget below the video for Extra Life that you can donate for or to. WizKids Vallejo paint line. I haven't talked about that a lot, but basically RealmSmith was involved in curating and designing the boxes and creating tutorials for the new WizKids Vallejo paint line that is out in stores, either, if not yet, it is coming soon. Check out your local game store. And we have a bunch of new tutorials on our YouTube page that walk you through how to use all of the technique sets that exist. So basically it is a set curated, or a line, paint line curated to the unpainted miniature line that WizKids has, that has done incredibly well and super successful. And we'll be showing some new minis of that in the next little while as well, as I just received a bunch of them in the mail. Nolzer's Marvelous Miniatures is on hiatus, but we will have Behind the Screen on Tuesday to discuss the finale, and I'm assuming Players Table will also be going on Thursday, but then we're going to take a little bit of a break until the beginning of Tides Season 2. We may do some in between that, but the idea is that we want to just take the time to kind of refresh and write and prepare for the next season, which is going to be awesome. At this time, I'm going to show you a Lost Odyssey game trailer. This tonight is Night of Dread. This is Matt Lillard's debut DMing, dungeon mastering experience. I actually talked to him just before our show tonight. And he said he is super excited, that he was super nervous as a DM because it was his first time in public, but he loved it and it was incredible, and I cannot wait to watch it. That is happening tonight on the D&D Twitch, I believe, and on the D&D YouTube at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So check that out. We'll be done right on time tonight so that you guys can tune into that. And we sponsored that event. And we will be sponsoring Lost Odyssey events moving into the future. Excited for the future of what they have, but make sure you tune in tonight for that Night of Dread. Roll the commercial.
Tonight, we rise, we reign, we spread. For evil speak what lie in store. Your fate is sealed, the cards have set. Welcome goblins, welcome ghouls, welcome spirits, wizards, fools. Let's carve a smile into that head. Welcome all to the Night of Dread.
And that is it. Make sure again that you tune in tonight for Matthew Lillard's debut DM experience live for the world to see, along with that incredible cast of players as part of the Lost Odyssey game Night of Dread. I think that's all of the announcements. Again, make sure that you tune in Monday for part 2 of this finale. And we will also be showing the Christmas trailer in the break. Joel, actually, let's say hi to the cast first. Hello, everyone. How you guys doing?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Super good.
Super good. Quick question for you. If we show it in the break, is there still enough time for people to... No, it closes before that. Joel, I can't hear you.
No. It closes at 9 tonight. And we only have about, I think we got like 10 or 15 sets left.
Okay, so maybe we show it now and not in the break. Do we want to do that real quick?
Sure.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Joel, your audio is not working for some reason.
Yeah, show it now because
Okay.
because I think it closes at 8:16 actually.
Okay.
So
just an hour left. So roll it, Julian, and then we'll be back.
The Night Before Christmas, a poem by M.R. Murray. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the shed not a creature was stirring, not even undead. 2 onesies were worn by the fire so bright, both dreaming of battles that waged through the night. When all of a sudden there arose such a clatter that our 2 flannel champions woke to see what's the matter. Upon the green tree at the back of the shed, the branches weren't barren, but gleaming instead. These new decorations, like nothing they'd seen, were full of the creatures born out of their dreams. Not the shiny array of your average balls, but the mimics and goblins of a dark dungeon's halls. And so the two onesies decided 'twas right to hang with these creatures on that fateful night, but slept with their weapons until the next morning to ready a dodge if attacked without warning. Such is the legend that's now come to be The Night Before Christmas by M.R. Murray.
Bravo!
Very good.
Wow.
Very good. So again,
Oh
you
my
have
goodness.
less than an hour left. There are sets left, David?
Yeah, it's like 10 or 12 of them.
Okay, so there's 10 and
Not
12
many.
sets left. Make sure that you get on there and before they all run out. And congratulations to you guys for another successful Kickstarter for Mithril.
Nora's got them on as earrings.
I did.
What?
I wore.
How did Noura get them? I don't even have them.
Ah, yeah.
Sorry, Jay.
We only got 2 sets.
I'll
And
remember-
she has more Christmas cheer.
I'll remember this.
I-
I'll remember it.
We're dead.
Well, it's been fun playing with y'all. I know my character's gonna die
Yeah.
tonight.
Oh, that's funny. All right. So funny. So, are you all ready to venture into the mist?
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. Where we left off, you were all in Camp Gakis. Camp Gakis being the combined camps of the Vistani people of Barovia that do not serve Strahd, that actually serve against Strahd. You spent the last 3 days there. A number of things have happened, which we'll cover in a moment. But you found yourself there because at Yesterhill, Muskoka was used as a sacrifice to an effigy of Strahd, who then transformed into a tree blight and headed to Gakis in order to do what he needed to do, which was to get rid of or to deal with the people, the Vistani people who were hell-bent on destroying what he has built or worked so hard to build. You took a little bit of a break before going to help Muskoka to try and retrieve an axe, which you did, effectively, a magical axe, which has an ability to do extra damage to plant life, plant creatures, and plants in general. After retrieving that axe, you made your way as quick as you could to Gakis, and as you approached the walls of Gakis, the Vistani people made quite short work of this enormous, dangerous tree blight. I did not expect that to happen. And they did that, of course, with our community spending bits in order to decimate it before you got there. The unfortunate thing, of course, was in decimating that effigy and decimating the tree blight, they also killed Muskoka in the process. Ezmerelda, searching the wreckage, came upon his remains. As one of the Vistani elders came out, Elder Tamazar specifically, and began to cast a scroll of resurrection upon Muskoka's remains, bringing him back to life and back to the party. You also found a green gem that had a slight glow at its center. The gem that you knew, or you know, was being used by the Martikov family at the Wizard of Wine's winery in order to grow the grapes that create the wine that keep the Barovian people happy. And maybe only one of the morsels of happiness that they experience on an ongoing basis. You then took some time to rest. You've been in Gakis, as I said, for 3 days, and there are a number of things that have happened during that time. Before I get into some of it, and some of the stuff that I know about, if you, I know that once that happened, you all have spent now the last number of days in the Discord community, chatting with the Discord, and bartering and getting items and all of that sort of stuff. There is something special that they did for Ezmerelda. I don't even know if Ezmerelda is aware of it yet.
I am not.
Okay, they did a very special thing for Ezmerelda. So apart from that, though, if the other players, if you guys have done anything in the Discord in Camp Gakkus over the last little bit, let me know.
Yeah, so I went and I collected some honey and some coffee grounds in the elder's tent and at the campfire, as well as just because it's so dreary in Barovia, as well as I requested some help to deal with the hag situation.
Okay.
See if the Vistani might help us to kind of get rid of them, or at least help us pursue them, maybe even do it for us. But I haven't gotten a full answer yet, to be quite honest.
Okay. All right, so that's kind of a conversation that you started to have.
Yep.
Can you give me a just a straight intelligence check, please?
Sure. That is a 19.
19?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you already kind of know, the hag moves in and out of the ethereal plane. The ethereal plane kind of being that plane that stitches all of the planes together. It is where you go when you pass, before you pass on to your eventual eternal dwelling.
Yep.
And in order to be able to travel, from what the Vistani and you, kind of the conversation that you have over the last 3 days, you surmise that you would need some sort of, say vehicle, but some sort of mode of transportation in order to potentially, unless the hag comes into the material plane, which is where you faced her before, you would need some sort of ability to traverse the planes. And unfortunately, the Vistani at this point didn't quite have any answers of what may be able to do that, or even what creatures have the ability to do that. But yeah, that's as far as that has gone.
Perhaps a mare of the night, a night mare, could travel those planes?
Give me a nature check.
No? I don't know. Here we go. Okay. That nature check leads me to a 7. Right down the path of a 7, which is a lucky number in most cultures.
Okay. Well, the Vistani rolled well. So actually, in bringing that up about the nightmare, they're like, well, we believe, yes, that it does travel through the planes. It does pass into the ethereal plane and can transport a number of individuals through. Then they start to talk about how it does it and how it doesn't. And frankly, you start to think about pies again and think about how great they were and miss kind of all of the deep information that existed past that.
Past the pies. There's not much I can remember.
The ethereal plane. Because then you start thinking of the hags and you start thinking about, those pies were really good. I wonder, if they would taste as good now that you're not kind of hooked on them and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, so that is that. Anyone else? Sorry, Falpher. Real quick, you do remember that you glimpsed, walking in the mountains, something that you weren't even sure you saw. Maybe it was the altitude playing with your mind.
Lack of oxygen, so to speak.
What's that?
The lack of oxygen, so to speak.
Yes, but you did see a man in tattered clothes, long black beard, black hair.
Yep.
His eyes crackled with eldritch energy for a moment. You closed your eyes, you opened them again, he was gone. Anyone else?
I just need to ask real quick. Did Ezmerelda get her much needed self-care spa day? Is that what happened?
I would imagine that yes. I'm going to say yes, you were able to, that some of the Vistani people would have done whatever was necessary to make you feel comfortable for those 3 days. You are a bit of a
I've
hero
heard
to
that
them.
Vistani are known to make really good cucumber spa water, is what,
That is that now
it's in
canon?
all the-
Should I?
It is. No, it's in all the Welcome to Barovia travel itineraries.
Pamphlets.
Yes.
when you when you walk into any inn in Barovia, you have the pamphlet stand with like 25 pamphlets.
Welcome to Barovia.
Yeah,
Have
like
you
you see,
tried
and
the
one of them is
Vistani
the-
spa water?
Yeah, exactly. I like it.
You gotta watch out for those people trying to get you to sell the cucumber essence.
Yeah.
It's
Anyone else?
I had some heartfelt discussions with a number of the Vistani people. Some really, really good RP moments. I was given a dart that's shaped like a metal black feather by Andre Ulrich. But yeah, that's the bulk of it. Some very, very great RP discussions and some character building moments for Sterling.
Awesome. That's great.
I popped by. To be honest, I didn't accomplish much like normal. But I did meet a lot of the characters there. I met Forrest Stump, which was great because he's also been killed. So we had a little bit of a bonding moment there. And Tara, she made some pastries for us, and I was a little nervous because, you never know what's in pastries when you're in Barovia, but they tasted okay. I hope that doesn't come back to haunt me. And I made a little.
Don't want to know how much the sausage is made.
Don't.
And they said Falpher was sleeping by the fire. I wanted to shave his mustache. They wouldn't let me. And then I dropped off a little gift for Tamazar, for the elder Tamazar. Dropped off a little totem that I'd carved of our party. The totem is my focus for magic, but I carved one for him. And I dropped off a couple of jars of ointment that I have to heal people. I don't have much.
That's
I don't
great.
have much. I have a
I know
job.
I love you. Yep.
Yeah. So that's all I did.
Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't make it to the Discord, but I was wanting to find a blacksmith to help get my found plate armor to fit.
Right.
That's selfish of you.
Yes, you did. You would have absolutely found blacksmiths there. And
There were
What's
actually people that they made plate armor for him.
yes. So I have been told that the Vistani actually made plate armor for you, which I'm sure they're all weeping because you didn't actually stop by the Discord. But you now have a full set of plate armor, proper plate armor. And they do say that this plate armor that you had is very decorative and don't know how much it would actually hold up to a lot of damage. They strongly suggested you don't wear it and gave you a very nice, ornate set of plate armor that they spent a lot of time crafting.
It's very generous. Thank you.
Was that the plate armor that we fell through the floor to try to get out of that stupid tower?
Yeah.
And it does nothing. It's just the decoration.
it's a thin layer of tin, is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
You know, like it's chewing gum wrapper. Just
Yeah.
Ezmerelda, how would you have spent the last 3 days?
I definitely would need a day to rest and a day to collect my thoughts. And I think I would just be speaking to as many after recovering Vistani as I can about what's been going on between the camps and what information they'd found out, how our plans are coming together.
Okay. And you have some great conversations and you share all the information that you've had and they share the information that they've had. And you learn some of the same things that you knew before, which was werewolves are on the rise. They seem to be taking children, still are missing. And that is something that is a thread that you have been following as well. In fact, just before you find yourselves in the 4th day at the camp, and that morning, a group of Vistani led by Elder Tamazar, Elder Guarl, and Elder Barbanegra headed out of camp in order to follow a lead that they had on the missing children. During that day, though, you noticed, Ezmerelda, that there was a bit of a... You're not quite sure what was going on, but in some of the kind of crafting areas, there was kind of a hush when you would pass. And almost like something kind of was happening kind of behind the scenes that you kind of thought, potentially, was something that they were doing for you. And you didn't necessarily surmise what it was, but you kind of let it go. You felt, you know what, we'll let them do whatever it is that they do. Early on the 4th day, you're called to the back of the camp, in an area where a lot of people don't necessarily go. It's where they keep the animals in the stalls. And you see, and they kind of call you all around, and you see a large structure of some sort, some 8 to 10 feet tall, and I'd say about 15 feet long, covered in a drape, big, huge drape. And they usher you up towards it, and they remove the cover, revealing a brand new vardo.
Oh, what?
This vardo is in the same color scheme as the original. It has a reinforced frame and chassis, and they start to explain this. Reinforced frame and chassis to strengthen the vardo.
Like a car commercial.
Yeah, and resist future explosions. A reinforced deadbolt lock with a trap mechanism. Metal work for the wheels in the shape of a sun, symbolizing the hope of the Morning Lord overcoming the darkness. Wood carvings of wolves, ravens, trees, and other forest animals into the wood exterior of the vardo. Additional wood carvings of a Vistani camp around a fire at a pastornada with a woman who looks similar to Ezmerelda dancing. Reinforced timbers across the ceiling and walls made of Barovian walnut, a naturally strong, hard-wearing, and long-lasting wood species, with engraving along the length, including intricate designs of Vistani life and folklore, and a promise of a warranty of sorts. They actually spent a lot of time in the last 3 days and a lot of resources gathering the materials that they did, actually using the crafting system that we've given them to spend bits and gather and time in order to build this for you. That's not all. This is going to take a little bit of time, but I want to make sure, yeah. But wait, there's more.
Oh my gosh. Thank you everybody in Discord. I'm for the first time, I have no words, nothing even dumb to say.
There's more. So I'll explain a little bit more because again, they spent a lot of time doing this. So I'm going to call out some specific people.
Yes, please.
From Clan Guarl, a lot of the gatherers, and the gatherers in our Discord camp in Gakis have their crafters, they're gatherers, but they also have mules. So a tier 1, they can just basically gather and help to gather the things that are necessary. I'm going to go through real quick, but Kestrel and her mule Blazing Thunder, Shortleaf and her mule Bray, Cavdis and their mule Kicker, Trixie and their Locke, Force Stump and their mule Lieutenant Dan, so some of the people who actually did the improvements. Elros created a leather satchel for your books and research. You can probably write this stuff down as I say it, and then if there's anything missing, we can go from there.
Yeah. Yes.
Elros, or I can send you this file possibly.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Elros. Actually, you know what? If somebody from the Discord, one of the Smith Guardians, can send Ezmerelda this Word document, that'd be great. Elros made a satchel for you. Bregor did the metal work for the wheels in the shape of a sun, symbolizing the hope of the Morning Lord. Apollonia smithed and decorated drawer and cabinet pulls and filigree accents on the Vardo interior, all themed for Vistani taste and Morning Lord accents for hope. Nova created 3 alchemist fire bottles for your restock. Farlin created 3 perfumes in the scents of freesia, rose, and jasmine. Fester, T. Jester, I had to say the whole thing, assisted Bregor on the wheels, and Elder Guarl created 2 leatherwork scroll map cases that can convert into a leather portfolio to protect your documents and papers. Worked with Morning Lord and Vistani Menusa task designs combined on them in a Taroka deck to replace your lost one. From the Clan Guarl inventory to replace what you had lost, they also gave you a light crossbow and 10 silvered bolts, a healer's kit, and 4 healing potions. Clan Ludari spent time collecting materials. That was Zelda, Garviel, Lorelei, Misty, and Elder Ludari did that. Crafts and improvement projects in the Vardo. Zelda weaved a fine dress and some additional clothes for you. Garviel silvered both a short sword and a long sword. Lorelei weaved several warm blankets. Misty did wood carvings of wolves, ravens, trees, and other forest animals into the wood exterior of the Vardo. Additional wood carvings of Vistani camp around the fire. As mentioned before, Elder Ludari, a reinforced deadbolt lock. He is the one that created the lock. From Clan Ludari's inventory, they also gave you 5 silvered bolts, a healer's kit, and 3 holy water flasks. I'm not done. Oh, and 2 lanterns.
Sorry, you were muted for a second.
Hey Jay,
there.
Yeah.
we couldn't hear you for like at least 30 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What was the last thing I said?
I think you were still on in
the
Twitch though.
Shorts, maybe. Short
Yeah.
sword, long sword.
Yeah, the we heard it live, so
Okay.
Okay.
we could, yeah. Clan Barbanegra, the gatherers were Andre and Elder Barbanegra. Crafts and improvement projects for the Vardo. Andre reinforced the timbers, and the remainder of the clan included the work in the engravings. Elder Barbanegra reinforced the frame and the chassis. From Clan Barbanegra's inventory, 2 potions of healing, one with a little tuft of bear fur wrapped in ribbon and tied to it with the following on a small label: to keep a close and dear one safe on the road, a bear watches for you and over you. Gatherers from Clan Wattleby, Oskler, William, Serial, Pipka, and Elder Wattleby. Crafts and improvement projects that they worked on, Oscar, William, and Serial, were the 5 holy water flasks. Pipka did the 20 silvered bolts, and Elder Wattleby, created 5 necklaces, one for each member of the party. The necklaces are constructed of leather, string, connected to a wolf's tooth with a heavy wire. In the center of each tooth is a carving of a bird in flight with a gem where the heart would be. The colors of the gems are as follows: Ezmerelda's is purple, Muskoka's is yellow, Sterling's is blue, Falpher's is green, and Dimitri's is red.
Nice.
Awesome.
Elder Temazar also provides, he's gone now, so somebody gives you a scroll, Ezmerelda, and it appears to be the warranty, and it says, any damage brought on unknowingly by the owner is not the owner's liability. Claims should be submitted to Home Office. In the event of death, the Vardo and all its contents shall become the responsibility and property of the executor of the deceased.
Oh man, that's
my
awesome.
And that is
I love
it.
you
I know that
guys
took a
so
while,
much.
but I thought it was really super special. They did this all on their own, no prompting from us or the elders. They just really wanted to help. So
You guys are the best.
amazing.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you so much. You are the best, and I love you guys. That was,
So cool.
in addition to the list of items, there's also a small white paper box filled with cream puffs and caramel apples made by Salthos of Clan Wattleby.
there's pastries.
Okay, I'm told there's something else.
Who did you say they were made out of?
What's that?
The necklaces?
The necklaces?
They're
never.
cruelty-free pastries.
Oh, the pastries. Yeah, they're puff pastries. They're good. Also, sorry, Dmitri is presented with a restraining order, so he is not allowed within 50 feet of the new Vardo.
That's good.
Yes. Yes. I was waiting for
That's
something.
amazing.
That's fair.
All right. So that is all presented to you. There are some additional
you
items, some little things that I see here, but that is the majority of the list. Hopefully they'll add it to that document before they send it to you so that you have all that information with you.
You guys are the best. I love you.
So fun.
Amazing.
So amazing.
Amazing.
So you folks spend the majority of, the afternoon kind of prepping, deciding how long you want to stay here. Camp Gekis is cold. The cold is kind of starting to wear on you a little bit. But again, you feel safe, surrounded by the Vistani people. The warmth that their hospitality brings is welcome, and the palisade that guards the camp is probably the most secure you've felt or faced in some time. What do you do for the remainder of that day in camp?
Well, were we able to flag down one of the Order of the Raven to be able to give them back their gem?
You have not seen any of them at this point, not in the last 3 days. You imagine that you'll probably have to deliver it.
Okay.
But yeah, you have not seen it.
Okay.
Seen any of them. Unless, of course, you wanted to have traveled in those 3 days, but I imagine you spent most of your time in the camp.
I'm okay with having made that trip. It's only a number of hours, really, right?
Not even. Yeah, it's a number of hours. That's right. Back and forth.
So yeah, assuming that we could have done that and it's a relatively trivial trip, then yeah, I'd imagine we would have tried.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say that you went to the Wizard of Wine's winery, and we can kind of talk about what that means for future. And we can kind of cover it once we've kind of discussed it further. But we're going to say that in those 3 days, you were able to make that trip, return the green gem. They were incredibly grateful. And now you've come back to the camp. Okay?
How grateful were they, Jay?
If you were to put a number on it.
If you were to assess a value of
I will assess that value
gratitude.
off stream so that we're not
Okay.
spending time doing that
Okay. Fair
currently.
enough. Okay.
Hilarious. Okay. What do you do for the remainder of the day? The day is yours. And you do know that this is the day that was described as the Eve of Hallow, where the veil between the plains and the mist become thinner and more susceptible to attacks from some of the darker planes than typically exists. And you think this is a dark demi-plane. I'm talking about the negative plane. I'm talking about the Shadowfell. I'm talking about those planes that are less than. And even so, apparently, seemingly out of Strahd's hands. What you've gathered is that even he doesn't necessarily have control over what might pass on this particular evening. And you're not exactly sure why. And you do notice that the Vistani people at the camp are actually a little bit on edge this day, taking extra care on their watch, taking extra care to make sure that their weapons are sharpened and prepared and ready.
So, Jay, if that's the case, then I'm going to head over to the nearest elder that I see. I'm at the campfire, is where I was.
Yep.
So there should be an elder around somewhere.
Yep.
Head over to an elder and just say something to the effect of, I could not help but notice that some of you are on edge and sharpening your edge. Should we do the same?
And you are, again, it's explained to you that this is a difficult evening yearly. Once again, they're just making sure that they feel somewhat more well protected than they did, having brought all the camps together in one place. They feel like they're less susceptible to attack. But up to this year, this is the first year they actually have to worry. Up to this point, Strahd has protected the Vistani for the most part. This is the one night, though, that typically they have to worry a bit more because, again, Strahd's control over what enters and what doesn't is less effective on this particular evening.
So I'll pursue the line of questioning and go like, so perhaps if you are so nervous, it would be the right time for us to prepare for some attacks from hags, perhaps, and maybe we fight them. Is that true? If should we expect some huntings during the evening?
I would expect far worse than hags.
Let me go find my friends. I'm gonna try to gather the rest of the party together in the camp.
Okay.
What time of the day is it?
It's the equivalent of about 4 bells, so 4 p.m.
So is that 4 p.m.?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And
So
they are
Our
creating.
choices are really like tuck in and stay safe inside the walls, or just go for a walk.
Yeah, and they're preparing a fairly opulent meal, and you feel kind of to lift the spirits a little bit. So you're looking forward to a meal, and that happens around 6 p.m.
Okay. So who do I come across first?
I would say that you're able to gather them all. Are you looking to gather them all before you talk?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you gather them all.
Okay, so friends, we've had a good rest here. It's been a very nice 3 days here, and but it seems our friends are a little bit they're on edge, and I'm wondering perhaps if it's the right thing for us to stay or go. What should we do with this information? They say that we should expect things worse than hags tonight. I don't know about you, but worse than a hag, that's not very good.
I don't know if there's anywhere actually safer than inside of these walls, surrounded by these people.
Of course, I mean, we saw these people take on a huge effigy of you with you in it, and they defeated it without problem. No, I agree with you. I'm just saying, what should we do?
We should
Just
prepare.
Yeah, just like
would agree with
get
that.
ready.
Yeah, we should prepare and get as much advice from them as possible on how we should prepare.
Maybe we could offer to take a part of the wall or one of the gates.
Hmm.
You could ask them how they normally prepare and then offer to take one of their shifts for them or something. We got to give back something to these people.
Yes.
Now, do you think this is a situation where we're going to be potentially helping protect this area, or are we going to preemptively go fight anything so that they're not attacking this very nice camp that we don't want destroyed?
Well, if they can tell us that there's this one monster and he's in this one place and we should go get him because we could do it now better than later, maybe.
I would just say that after everything that they've done for us, if there's a way that we could not have this place attacked and go find whatever it is that they're afraid of.
I gotta be honest, I don't really feel like being bait again. To go out there and try to start a fight.
Are you
with less
sure?
people. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, at this point, you are the one who has the most experience of us all. You've experienced life. You've experienced death. I mean, that cannot be traded for almost anything.
There's only one of those that I want to do again. And I'm doing it already.
All right. Okay.
If we're sure that we can that we can help them by going and being preemptive, then maybe. But we got to be sure that that's really better than being inside of the walls.
Why don't we meet with the elders and see how we can help them, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, see what they have to say.
Yep.
Hey.
So can we do that, Jay? Can we somehow gather the elders and offer our services?
Yeah, so you gather the remaining elders, the two, and you. One sec. Let me just make sure who is left in the camp here. One moment, please. Please stand by. So it would have been Wattleby and Tamazar are left.
Okay. Elders, we wanted to, first of all, I will not speak for everyone, but I think everyone should say thank you for all the things you have done for us. Elder Wattleby, this necklace is quite beautiful. I love it. The green stone at the heart. It's really something. Now we have to offer. It's at least it would be in our best interest to make sure you know that we are here to help. And we've heard rumor of this evening being one of many strange events. And we would like to offer our services. Is that not right, my friends?
It's the very least we can do.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right, and Tamazar and Wattleby explain that they think, they have their watches rotating regularly. They've doubled their watch on all towers and along the walls. That you are guests here, and if the time comes where you are needed, you will be beckoned. But at this point, all of the suitable arrangements have been made, or preparations have been made in case things go badly this evening.
Well, first of all, I think we'd like to hear you doing Wattleby's voice. But also, I think we got to insist that we help. We can't just sit here and do nothing and hope that everything goes okay.
Could you tell
Let
us
us at
what
least
happened?
be guards at one of the gates with your guards.
Wattleby says, well, Hillary's going to kill me. She says, well, that's all we're doing is waiting. So I guess we'll just wait.
Well, what happened last time?
Well, last time there were creatures from the negative plane that crossed over. They didn't bother us. It was in other parts of Barovia. I didn't witness it. In fact, I wasn't even in Barovia last time this happened.
And when you say the negative plane, do you mean they're just like not very nice, like they say bad things and they are not positive about life? They are mostly like negative?
No, like devoid of life. The plane of death. Where all things die.
I feel like
Yeah, really dark
Right.
place.
I
feel like we should warn you that wherever we go, bad things seems to happen. So us being here, maybe it's just bad luck, but I feel like they're just going to show up here.
Possible. I don't know. But let's eat. And at this point, you know that it's basically dinner time. They said that the stew is on, and they start to serve, and they kind of call you over to this big bonfire that they have at the kind of the central area of the camp. And the drinking starts and the dancing starts, but you do see that the numbers are a little dwindled around the fire this evening, and you imagine that is because they are doing their rounds. They've doubled their watch. And even though it's jovial as it typically is, it's slightly lackluster. Time passes. You enjoy your food. Your bellies are full. You almost forget about what happened 3 days ago, and you almost forget about the evening that you have ahead. Though all of a sudden, you feel the temperature begin to drop. And dramatically so. like the equivalent of about 10 degrees. The hairs on the back of your neck begin to rise. At this point, the sun is set. It's the equivalent of about 7, 8 p.m. And there is a breeze that blows in, a cold, cold breeze you even feel over the palisade from the northeast, you discern. In an instant, the massive bonfire snuffs out into a column of smoke as it rises.
I draw one of my daggers.
And all of the torches around the camp go out. Starting from the northeast and following west across the entire camp. And there is silence. What do you do?
I light up Driffles with hope. So, hope! And Driffles is out there floating away.
Okay. And that is the lower setting, right? That isn't the...
Yeah, I mean, do I get the impression that there's a magical darkness or something that I should set it to a higher setting?
Arcana check.
While that's happening, Jay, I'm going to hide in the shadows.
15.
Darkest place I can find.
Stealth, hide check. So stealth check. Sorry, What was that, 15?
Yep.
Yeah. With a 15, you don't imagine so, actually, because immediately people start to try and light lanterns, and they come back. Driffles, lights, but there was something that passed over the terrain, over the camp, that snuffed all warmth. The temperature is still significantly colder. The Vistani start to kind of pull their cloaks closer and tighter. Some put their hands on their weapons in preparation, potentially. But there is an eerie silence. There's a couple of voices that you hear speaking, but right now they listen. They listen potentially for an oncoming threat.
I rolled an 18.
Okay. You find ample shadow to hide in.
I'll turn to one of the Vistani that we're sitting at the fire with, or what used to be the fire, and I'll just say, has this happened before?
No, never.
What do you suppose it is?
I do not know. But
You take out a hand.
something of great power is at work here. I've never felt anything like this.
I take out a handful of oak bark from my pouch, and I cast bark skin on myself.
Okay. All of a sudden, go ahead.
I'm going to cast rope trick.
Okay.
Which basically allows me to use my length of rope, so 50 feet, and it rises 50 feet into the air, and I can climb it and hide in an invisible hole at the top of the rope.
When did you get that ability?
I've had it for 2 levels and did not know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you climb up, and you're in. And what is this invisible hole? Where does it exist on another?
So all it says is the extra dimensional space that can be reached by climbing to the top of the rope. The space can hold as many as 8 medium or smaller creatures. The rope can be pulled into the space, making the rope disappear from view outside of the space.
Right.
What's the casting time?
Duration is an hour, and it happens on a touch. 1 action.
So after an hour, you just fall 50 feet?
Yep. After an hour, if I don't get out, I fall 50 feet.
Okay.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious. All right. Okay, so you go up and you disappear. I guess the rope remains where it is.
It remains hanging, or I can pull it up if I want.
And are you aware of what's happening outside of the extra dimensional?
I can fully see everything that's going on around.
Okay. All right.
You're a cartoon character. It's awesome.
You hear yells and shouts coming from the northern gate as the party of Vistani who had gone out after Elder Ludari have come back. And they stumble back in, and you hear a commotion to the north gate. What do you guys do?
We're all close together.
You
right
guys
now?
are close to the south gate, and they're at the north gate, which is
I will
just a couple, like
take out
30
my.
seconds. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll take out my 2 hand axes and start running towards the gate.
Okay.
I'll follow. Yeah.
As
I'll
you
also run.
you all join.
With
I will.
Muskoka.
Okay.
We
Falpher.
take Falpher's rope with us.
Does it pull the hole with us?
Yeah.
Does it follow?
It does not follow.
Falpher,
And
what
it's
do you do?
tied to the space.
Do you stay where you are?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull the rope up and stay where I am.
Okay. All right.
Ah,
You all approach the gate, and this party looks exhausted. They kind of basically spill into the camp as the rest of the Vistani hurriedly close the gate and lock it. And you can see that they've added extra, reinforcements to the gate to make sure that it stays closed. They begin to describe their mission. They went after Elder Ludari looking for the lost children, following that thread, and it led them to Camp Odo. It was one of their old camps that existed as part of their separate camps across Barovia. This one is just north of the village of Barovia in the Svalak Wood. And basically at the foot of Castle Ravenloft, at the base of the cliff that leads up to Castle Ravenloft. They explain that on their mission, on their way, that they found Elder Odo, who had become, or unbeknownst to them, over the last number of passage of time, they don't exactly tell you how long, that he had become a necromancer, that he was a necromancer that was in service of Strahd and deceived them all. They approached Camp Odo, and all they remember is Odo creating some sort of ritual that caused a rip in the very fabric of space and time, leading to a plane of pure blackness. And not just darkness, a plane devoid of light, a plane devoid of life. Odo was sucked into this plane, seemingly of his own volition, seemingly wanting to. And what emerged from that plane, none of them can begin to describe without stuttering over their words in utter fear. They describe a creature of utter darkness, wreathed in smoke and a void that only exists on the negative plane. A creature some 50 feet tall, large horns, multiple blue eyes on either side of its face, long claws that ripped through and came into the material plane that you know as Barovia. They got away as they felt the ground around them, the plant life begin to wither and die just at its presence. Its hooved feet stepping through onto Barovian soil. They said that they lingered only long enough to see the creature begin to make its way south towards the village of Barovia. And as quickly as they could, headed back here to warn you all. What do you do?
okay, maybe we don't fight this thing all on our own. That sounds terrifying.
Yes. And that was just now? Like you just came back from there?
They explain, yes, it was only the time that it took them to travel back here is the time that has passed.
Was it following you?
It didn't seem to be. They explain that it seemed to be heading south as they headed southwest to return.
South.
Oh.
It was going south. Where do you think it was headed?
Towards Barovia, the village.
Oh, did they say how tall it was?
They weren't sure, but some 50 feet.
What,
Some 30 to 50 feet, they weren't sure.
was it magical? Did it have physical weapons or magical?
They explained that it doesn't seem to be any sort of weapon known to man. There wasn't any swords or any sort of manner of weaponry.
Has anyone seen it attack something?
No.
Did it seem intelligent or just bestial?
Intelligent. Dark. Ancient wisdom. And it took them approximately an hour and a half to 2 hours to get back.
Hey Jay, from this distance, do I still hear the commotion at the north gate, seeing as I'm at the south gate?
Well, it's quieted down, and now you've waited some time, so now there's conversation happening, and you
Okay.
can see from the height that you are, you can see them kind of gathered and kind of what's going on, but you can't hear what's happening.
Okay, so I'll throw down my rope and I'll go over to meet them.
Okay.
Climb down, go, and turn off my spell.
Okay. Okay, you gather, you reach them just as the last thing that I just said is said.
Okay.
Falpher, you gotta stay with us. We can't get all split up like we did last time.
We're all
It's never worked.
We're all still in camp, my friend.
Also,
Okay,
like,
but
where
you
was
were
our
hiding.
invite? You totally didn't even invite us.
I mean,
Don't tell me that it wasn't room.
Maybe there was not room.
How big is your secret hole?
Let's not talk about it now.
Well, did you hear what they were saying at least?
No, I have no clue. What did they say?
Well, there's a giant monster from a different plane that is on its way towards Barovia right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
like from the negative
remember-
plane.
Yes.
It would appear so. Remember when our biggest concern was over a guy who had like lost the love of his life and then like that sort of vengeance? Remember when that was our biggest problem? Well, guess what? Now we're dealing with some negative plane creature that's 50 feet tall.
When will we just be able to go home? Like, why are we still here? Like, what is keeping us here? I mean, if you could go into a giant hole in the air 50 feet away, would not you go? That is why I went, okay? I'm tired of all this BS, bad stuff.
But I think you just
Well-
said it, Falpher. Perhaps this creature may hold the key to us being able to get back to where we came from.
Are you originally from the negative plane?
Well, I'm just talking about
Oh, traveling through.
going from place to place. Yes.
Right.
Also, all well and good for you guys. I live here.
That's true. You don't need to go anywhere.
I can't leave until we've stopped Strahd, or until Strahd is dealt with.
Sterling,
It's true.
maybe this is how Strahd gets dealt with. Perhaps we could use the giant plane walking beast to defeat Strahd for us.
We were told that it seemed intelligent. Do you think we could tell it to go to Strahd's castle?
Just be like, hey,
buddy.
why bother fighting us? You want a challenge? There's that guy.
Hey, I mean, crazier things have happened. Okay, nothing crazier has happened, but crazier things might happen.
I have my doubts. I feel like most of our plans go very badly, and we've had a number of very bad days. And so I think whatever we do, we're going to end up having to do something about this beast, some way to stop it, and I'm not sure we can convince it to fight Strahd for us.
One of the
Maybe we
Vistani
can
speak up and
convince
say,
Strahd.
I fear so much for the people of the village. They are helpless against this creature. It sets out to kill them.
How far is Strahd's castle from Barovia? From the town.
How far, sorry, is what?
Strahd's castle from the town.
From the village of Barovia.
Yes.
It's about 3 miles, but like up cliff. So, about 2 miles, but up a cliff on the edge of a cliff above that kind of looks down over the village of Barovia in a valley.
I mean, we might have a better chance convincing Strahd to help us beat this thing, other than the other way around.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Is that we call him and ask him for his help. We can't lose. If either one of them dies, we don't lose.
There's no love for us. If we ask for help, he'll just join the creature and smashing us into the ground.
Do
Or
that anytime.
I have this fancy new dress that the Vistani made for me. I dress up like Irina, and maybe he comes back, and maybe we convince him then. And I beat the bait this time instead of Muskoka. Because I don't think we should...
Sorry. I don't think we should use either of us as bait. And also, he might notice that you're missing a leg, but,
Hey.
But actually, he wasn't going to notice that woman was all made out of weird parts so who knows?
Yeah, I'm a better Irina than that meat face.
That's true.
Monster.
Yeah, that was terrible. Oh, that was the worst.
That was a bad idea.
You do look better than the meat face.
Elder Ludari looks up, and his face just pale, saying, "There are lives at stake here."
Listen,
and
of
I was
course.
just trying to lighten the mood a little bit. Sorry, I apologize.
I felt the power of this creature. I took damage just from being within feet of it. Just in its presence.
You mean it didn't really attack you and you still got hurt by it?
Yes.
What do you think 5 of us are going to do when there were all of you that were there, harmed just by being close to it?
I do not know if we can beat it. I do not know if you have the power to destroy it, but what I do know is that the people of Barovia deserve a chance. Is there some way we can rescue them without fighting this creature? I don't know.
If this creature is born of darkness, then maybe shining some very bright light would have to do something, wouldn't you think?
I back up and I just call up in the sky. Like, Strahd! Morning, Lord! Anybody! One of you needs to come and help us.
Religion check.
16.
As you yell, it appears almost like your words are muffled. As there's no echo that would exist typically. Like they drift and disappear and die.
I take a step back to where Muskoka was, and I go, Raven folk, anyone who can hear us, please come and help us, anyone, please. . Any Raven folk around?
Not that you can see.
In the same kind of vein of what Muskoka and Falpher were doing, I'll just take a knee and I'll quietly just kind of ask Alun if there's any sort of wisdom or any sort of insight that can be used for this creature.
Give me a religion check, please.
Can I help with that since I also believe in Alun if I like pray beside him? Is that
only if Dmitri is obvious about what he's doing?
Okay.
Yeah, I went down on my knee and sort of very obviously.
Yeah. So I'll join the same way. I got a +0 though, so that's not going to help you at all.
Okay. Well, that's still a 19.
Okay.
Nice.
With a 19, that kind of sense of you still feel a connection to Alun's power, though muted generally in Barovia. There's a general almost like communicating with Alun through a window, through a filter. And that connection, though present, seems more distant than it ever has. You do not get an answer, even with a 19. You get a sense of assurance. You get a sense of hope that hopefully you can do something. And you definitely feel a sense of purpose or what should I say? Your spirit and your soul kind of get a sense of prodding towards stopping loss of life, bringing light into the darkness. Like never before, even though distant, you feel the call to vengeance. And you all notice that the temperature continues to drop. Slowly than it initially did, but it continues to drop.
Well, so it seems we will not get the help from others that we seek.
I think we're the only help left.
I just cast light on myself real quick just to see if it works.
It does.
In this change of circumstance.
It does.
Well, that's good for now, I guess. And as I extinguish.
Okay.
And
Adam, were you casting divine intervention, or were you just trying to pray?
I don't think I have divine intervention, but that was just praying.
Okay. All right. What do you do?
It seems that we have only one course of action.
I agree. We meet the creature. There has
Or
to
at
be
least,
something.
we rush to the village and try to get the people out, evacuate them.
or have them go into hiding.
Would we make it to the village before the creature?
At this point, you imagine no. It would have only been probably about a quarter of an hour to get there. So it's already there. And give me a religion check, Sterling.
It's a natural 1.
Okay. You think it's fine. You are so confident at this point that you will make all of the difference by going to face this creature.
We have to do something. And we've made some difference in the things that we've done already, and we'll do so again. Let's bring light to the darkness.
Around the fire earlier today, I told the camp members that you need to choose whether you're going to sacrifice your life or not to help others here. That somebody shouldn't make that decision for you. And in this case, I'm willing to go and risk my life to help those people.
Yes.
So am I.
Super inspired by Sterling and Muskoka, I just draw my rapier. I'm like, let's go!
Fine, let's
I
go.
will-
A little too enthusiastically for the moment.
Okay. All right. You do notice that, and the Vistani just explained that some of their best warriors are exhausted from returning, and that they will do whatever they can to come to help. But at this point, you're on your own.
Okay, so I turn to them and say, listen, you have done so much for us. We are well rested. All of our strength and our wits are about us. There is a very good chance we fail anyways, but we are going to try for you. Shall we, my friends? I'll be at the back.
I will be at the front.
Okay.
I'll be with you, Sterling.
Let's go. Let's bring hope to these lands. If anybody needs it, it's them. And we can help to provide that.
You begin.
We're separating ourselves
Sorry?
this time.
Say that again.
No separating ourselves this time.
No,
Yes.
you were separated in many pieces. That's true. Let's avoid that for sure. Let's go.
You all head north through the gate. The gate shuts behind you, and you feel the reality of Barovia hit again as you hear them reinforce the gate with further logs that they have basically kind of lodged into the door.
It's after dark now, right?
It is.
Yeah, because,
It is. As I said, it's markedly colder than it has been, almost by 10 degrees. Very cold. Even forcing you to bring your winter gear out to cover yourselves. As you kind of descend down the foothills of the mountain into the foothills below it, even here there's frost on the hills. You head north a little ways until you finally meet the Svolok Road. It heads east and west.
Hey, Jay, before you continue, do we know how long it takes between where we are and Barovia, approximately?
An hour and a half, you
Okay.
imagine.
Would
Can I
this
hold?
be?
Go ahead.
I was going to say,
I was.
you go.
No, you go. I was gonna say if we took the Vardo, would we get there faster?
They never said anything about horses. But I'm going to say that they would lend you some horses if you would like to take the Vardo.
I would need special permission to be inside.
Yes.
According to my
You are granted that permission.
Yes, I will make an
We have
exception.
50-foot ropes.
So you want to take the Vardo on the trail?
We put Dmitri in the rope spell.
Yeah.
No, Dmitri would be able to
Yeah.
to this time
Okay.
accompany us.
All right.
My hands to myself.
Okay, so you head north, as I said, over the foothills. That takes some time as you weave in and out of the hills at the foot of Gakis. And you meet the Svolok Road. It heads west and, of course, east. You know the village of Barovia is east. And you have pretty much gone a third of the distance to almost half of the distance that you need to at this point.
Okay, so we're not on foot anymore. Never mind. We're
No.
good. Keep going.
You're on your Vardo. Who is inside? Who's on the outside? There's basically seating for two in the front.
I'll be at the back still, because there's a little ledge at the back there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Jay, to kind of stand on.
Yeah, you kind of want to stand on the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be in the front, but I'll say, don't touch anything to everybody inside.
Okay.
I'll
I
be
want
up
to sit on
front
the
too.
top. Can I sit on the top, like cross-legged on the top?
Sure
holding
you
my
can.
axes?
Yep. I'm just
And I'm
gonna...
going to cast Primal Savagery as well.
Okay.
Because my
What does
teeth and
that? What does that
fingernails
do?
to
Just
sharpen.
for the sake of those that don't know.
Yeah, it kind of engages my shifting feature. So my teeth and fingernails sharpen, ready to deliver a corrosive attack.
Nice. And how long does that last?
I get a plus. It just says duration is instantaneous.
Okay.
That's my duration. So I think it's only effective on my melee attack.
Right, but it's always active.
I don't know. I think it's maybe it is an attack.
Yeah, I think
it is an attack.
Yeah, I think it is.
So I can't just cast it and sit there with my
I don't think so.
teeth sharpened, I guess.
Dmitri, where are you?
Well, that's cool.
I'm I'll sit up front with Ezmerelda.
So sorry, Sterling said he was up there.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be inside.
Okay. Dmitri is inside enjoying the wagon, taking advantage of his current exception.
Yeah, I think I'll just yell into Dmitri from the back. So that's what one looks like from the inside.
You head east along the Svolok Road. You meet a fork in the road. It goes northwest and continues east. You know that northwest heads towards the Festana grounds and Madame Eva's camp. East heads towards the village of Barovia. As you head east, it curls around a copse of the Svolok woods and through the woods. As you start towards around the woods, I would like Ezmerelda and Sterling and Muskoka to make perception checks, please.
17.
Okay.
14.
Okay.
10.
Okay. With the 17, you notice as you've got your hands on the reins for the horses, you notice in the distance some, I'd say, 30 feet. As you come around a bend, you see a single individual walking towards where you're heading. Basically, sorry, not where you're heading, but towards the Vardo as it's coming towards you. And kind of walking aimlessly on the road. Slow. And kind of head down, looking at the road as their shoulders are kind of slumped. And it looks like a Barovian at this point. At this distance, it just looks like a normal individual. Male, it appears. What do you do?
Ezmerelda, do you see that?
Do I see it at this point?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just standing there.
Walking. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Less creepy, but
Just kind of sulking.
Do you think he's undead?
I don't know, but it's kind of strange if the whole town is in a panic, I would imagine. I don't think it's good, but I don't think we can just let them go.
Does it look like he's noticed us at all?
As you kind of wonder, the individual kind of stops and looks up at you. Just staring forward. A look of sadness on its face.
Just a regular sad person?
Looks like a teenager. Looks like a male. Dark hair.
How close are we to Barovia right now?
You're approximately a mile and a half. Another 20 minutes or so. 20, 30 minutes left.
I'm not sure we have time to stop and chat.
I mean, it's just kind of creepy, but okay, I don't care. I think we need to go save that town, and whatever we do to stop this kid, it's not going to be good. I feel
What
like
if
maybe
we
should just go.
Yeah?
I think so.
And I'll knock up top. Muskoka, do you see this guy?
You do.
Yeah, I could see him now.
Do you think we should just go past him?
How far away is he?
Some 20 feet at this point.
Okay.
You haven't stopped the wagon, I assume?
Not yet.
We're
Maybe
just
we've slowed down a little.
going slow down, yeah.
Okay.
So we don't hit him.
Okay.
I mean, maybe he's just a depressed teenager. Who knows? It's Barovia.
I think he just speed up. We can't stop for this guy. Get out of the way! I yell down the road. Get out of the way! Get off the road, eh?
He looks-
you hoser.
And he kind of like just, and he kind of just like steps to the side, and he continues walking, and you now kind of meet him, and he is now. You guys are passing each other on the road,
Okay. As we pass by, I'm going to shout, "Find safety!"
and he kind of looks up to you with like this look of utter dismay as you go, and as he passes. Falpher, finally, he kind of comes into view as he continues to walk past you. And he stops in the road and he turns to you and he looks at you and he says, "They're gone. Death has come. And he took them with him."
Who is gone?
And then you lose him in the distance.
Worst person.
Who is gone? Hey, buddy!
No
Hey,
response.
buddy! Yo, no.
You see him turn and he walks away.
Okay, that was very rude. And I'll turn to the rest, and I'll say, that young man just told me that they are gone. I think he meant the Barovians.
Do you think we're too late?
I do not know, but I would hate. I mean, certainly we should at least go find out what happened.
The Vardo begins to veer left around through the woods and opens out into what you know is kind of the valley that the village exists in. You come to a bridge that is familiar to you. You pass it on your way into the kind of the interior of Barovia. And you cross the bridge and you start to see a couple groups of villagers running past you. Some of them walking like the other one, others running as fast as they can away from the village. But maybe half a dozen in all, couple peppered along the way.
Okay, we should ask these guys, yeah?
Yeah, okay.
And specifically this one, you see a Barovian woman holding the hand of a child as they kind of run past your area where you're sitting on the wagon. What do you do?
Stop
Oi.
the wagon.
So as we're close enough to be able to speak, see, what is it that you run from?
We don't know. We just left as quick as we could. And you have noticed before that there is a marked difference in the interactions that you have with certain Barovians. Some, there's a flicker of light, there's personality, there's a zest for life. In others, it's devoid. And it seems somewhat random as to which ones have that kind of zeal and others are kind of flat, devoid, like that light has gone out. But you've noticed in a number of them, specifically in this woman that holds the child's hand, you can tell that she is very passionate. The child just stares blankly in your direction. And the child probably around 5 years old.
So
Like
unsettling.
catatonic, Jay?
No, just indifferent.
Okay.
It has come. It is large, and I didn't see it. I just ran. Everyone's screaming. There are some left. I know there are, but I fear for our people. And she's
Where did
wearing
it
the
go?
typical Barovian tatters The village of Barovia, again, being a fairly poor village, not as opulent and not as well-to-do as Valaki is. It's quite a contrast.
You did the right thing. Protect your son. We're going to do what we can.
Of course. And she kind of picks up her son and puts him on her shoulder, and she turns and she starts to run again, and the son just blank staring in your direction as they...
Shouting back to all the people I can hear, I'll just say, "Hold on, hope," and we'll keep going.
Okay. As you continue a little further, you start to see the village of Barovia come into view. The temperature has gotten colder as you approach, and continues to drop. And now, this is supposed to be kind of the temperate sort of area of Barovia. Always misty, always humid, but warmer than Gakis and in the mountain regions. But it is markedly cold this evening, almost like there's a frost in the air. You can see your breath, which isn't typical for this time. You start to see the lights in the homes, but fewer than there typically are in the last time that you were here. You start to approach from the southwest. Is there anything you want to do before you actually... And again, up on the cliff in the distance, to the west, you see the looming castle Ravenloft overlooking the village. What do you do?
Do you see any signs of where it entered in through? Are there tracks on the ground, like giant footprints of death?
Survival check.
Footprints of death.
10.
No.
Band name.
Nothing from here. You see a number of footprints. You imagine probably fleeing Barovians, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Nothing from a large 30 or 50-foot creature walking through a village.
No.
You'd think that'd stand out, right?
Yeah, you'd think.
I'll just if I see any open windows, open doors, or any people, I'm just shouting to hide and barricade themselves.
Okay.
Does the Vardo have windows?
It does.
All right, I'll open the windows and just look around, just so I also am able to see what's happening.
All right. You continue to approach the village. You are now just on the outskirts of the village as you approach. You see some of the larger buildings in the distance to the east. As you continue along the road, you see that there are two smaller buildings that kind of greet you. As you approach within, I'd say you're at a 50-foot distance from now the edge of the main thoroughfare through the village. And it is silence in the village currently.
What are we doing here, friends? This does not seem right.
Yelling out the window. Wasn't there supposed to be some sort of monster tearing through this village?
I don't see any tracks. I can't see any signs of where it came through.
We must have scared it away.
Is this have I been to this particular area of this village before?
Yep.
Can I then cast clairvoyance?
Okay. What does that do?
So it says you create an invisible sensor within range in a location familiar to you, or in an obvious location that is unfamiliar to you, and the sensor remains in place for the duration, and it can't be attacked or otherwise interacted with, but you can choose seeing or hearing, and you can sense through the sensor like what's happening in that space, and it's in like a 1 mile radius.
Interesting.
Or 1 mile area.
Okay. And what does it state what exactly you sense?
I think it says when you cast a spell, you choose seeing or hearing. You can use the chosen sense through the sensor as if you were in its space. So I would be able to see or hear one or the other. So if I chose seeing, and if I saw a giant ass creature walking by, I'd be like, oh, it's a mile that way.
Oh no, a giant ass creature!
So okay, so you can. Sorry, I'm just trying to understand it. So when you place this sensor, whatever's around that sensor, you don't have.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So it would be obviously not. It would be placed somewhere like a mile from me or within a mile, and I can choose to see or hear through it.
Okay. Cool. Where do you want to place it?
How far away did you say was that castle?
The castle's like
where we
a mile and a half. It's in the distance. It's up at the top of the. Like you can see in the image that we have there, the village of Barovia. It's way in the distance, in basically at the top of that mountain.
But if it was halfway between there and we'd
Sure.
get maybe if we could sense if it was headed towards that direction.
Yep. Okay, so you want to put it kind of on the cliff side, leading towards Castle Ravenloft?
Yeah, and I think if I put seeing, if it was high up, I think it would be able to see in what direction if we are able to
Okay.
see if it's there.
Okay. All right, so you place the sensor.
And it lasts, it's a concentration spell that lasts for, casting time is 10 minutes.
Okay.
And it's concentration, up to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Duration.
Great. All right. As you begin to pass the first set of buildings, you start to turn along the main road, and you come right around the corner onto kind of the main thoroughfare through the village of Barovia. And you see a lone figure running in your direction. And it is closing quickly as you turn that corner. And it's some 70 feet from you. And immediately as it's running, it freezes and petrifies in place like held. And its neck cracks. And its body goes limp in the air. And then it gets dropped in the middle of the road.
I knock an arrow in with my short bow.
Okay. That is where we're going to take a
Knowing-
break. Thank you, everyone, for watching so far. If you've liked what you've seen, consider following or subscribing on Twitch to join our Discord community. You guys having fun so far?
Man.
Last
win-win
Halloween,
situation.
all you did was you killed all of Jinx's family.
Oh, that's right. I did. That was a good
It was
one.
a couple Halloweens ago now.
That was a good one.
man.
That was many Halloweens ago, actually.
Yeah.
Last Halloween, you guys had a Silent Hill-esque experience with Dragon's Bane.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Man.
That's right. Okay, we are going to tune in to the Lost Odyssey trailer real quick. Again, that is happening tonight. That is Matthew Lillard's premiere dungeon mastering experience live for the world to see. That is happening on the D&D Twitch and the D&D YouTube. Check that out at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And right immediately after what we're doing here, we'll probably host it on our channel so you can watch it on the RealmSmith Twitch if you want to as well. We're going to roll that trailer. We're all going to take our bio break. We're going to come back real quick, though, probably about 10 minutes, let's say.
Yeah. Hey, Jay.
5 to 10 minutes.
Just so people know, there's only 16 minutes to go on our Kickstarter.
Only 16 minutes to go, so you can roll that trailer as well, Julian, right after that. And then we'll go to our break screen, and then we'll be back, like I said, 5 to 10 minutes max.
Tonight, we rise, we reign, we spread. For evil speak what lie in store. Your fate is sealed, the cards have set. Welcome goblins, welcome ghouls, welcome spirits, wizards, fools. Let's carve a smile into that head. Welcome all to the night of dread.
The night before Christmas, a poem by M.R. Murray. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the shed not a creature was stirring, not even undead. 2 onesies were worn by the fire so bright, both dreaming of battles that waged through the night. When all of a sudden there arose such a clatter that our 2 flannel champions woke to see what's the matter. Upon the green tree at the back of the shed, the branches weren't barren, but gleaming instead. These new decorations, like nothing they'd seen, were full of the creatures born out of their dreams. Not the shiny array of your average balls, but the mimics and goblins of a dark dungeon's halls. And so the 2 onesies decided 'twas right to hang with these creatures on that fateful night, but slept with their weapons until the next morning to ready a dodge if attacked without warning. Such is the legend that's now come to be The Night Before Christmas by M.R. Murray.
What does your wandering eye see?
Can I touch it?
Take this miniature and I'm going to spray it with a matte varnish. Things that you've done in your career.
Lucasfilm, Uncanny X-Men, X-Men Gold.
Basically a column of smoke where your wagon used to be. Welcome back, everyone.
We'll just come back. Oh, we're back.
We're back.
Surprise!
Surprise! All right. Just before break, as you turned the corner. What's that? Oh yeah, giveaway winner. Sorry. Qlith123, you are the winner. Congratulations. You have a copy of the digital copy of D&D, Curse of Strahd for your D&D Beyond experience. And if you already have it, you can pass that code on to somebody else. Congratulations. Back into it. All right.
Jason was just too excited to start killing
I
us.
was too excited. As you turned the corner onto the main thoroughfare, you saw an individual running from some unseen horror as it basically went stiff, lifted into the air, seemingly its neck snapping, and then falling limp to the ground. What do you do?
Are we imagining this, Jay?
No.
Or is this real?
Well, you see it. Well, you don't see it, actually. Only
This is theater of the mind, so it's a bit of a trick question, Joel.
only Sterling, Ezmerelda, and everybody but you, actually, Falpher, because you're on the back.
Okay.
Would have seen this.
I want to cast
Even the guy in the Vardo saw it.
Say that again, Dmitri.
I want to cast Divine Sense.
Okay.
So any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet, not behind total cover, I'll know the location.
60 feet, no.
Okay. So that it lasts till the end of my next turn.
Okay.
Which, yeah, probably not very long, but yeah.
So I don't see this. Huh.
All right, what do you do?
Is his affliction like anything we'd ever seen before?
What do you mean?
Like, have we ever in our histories, or I should ask because is there anything that I would have ever seen or read about that this sounds vaguely familiar at all, or is this just completely new and baffling?
Yeah, history check.
Ugh. Rolled a 5 on the die, so I don't think.
Yeah, you've never heard of something of this kind of power.
Yeah, 8.
Should we figure out a plan? Probably not best to
I don't see it.
face it head on.
The only plan I have. Sorry, Ezmerelda, go ahead.
Oh no, I just saw. It's baffling to me. Like we just saw him like raise and his neck snapped, and then he's just standing there.
Do you continue to proceed with the wagon, or have you brought it to a halt?
I definitely would have slowed down, but Sterling, what do you think?
Okay.
If they do slow down, Jay,
yeah,
then I'm going to kind of climb up to the top of the Vardo, look over the top at the back, and go, "Why have we slowed? What's going on?"
The Vardo is now. The horses are approaching this body on the road.
Wow.
And if you don't halt it at this point, you will trample the body.
We cannot. What's going? Let's stop the wagon.
I mean, I would definitely would not want to trample anyone.
Okay. So the wagon comes to a stop.
Yeah.
I don't think we should. Whatever
He's
power affected him, I don't know if we should get past where his body is, assuming. I don't know.
What did you see? What is going on?
He raised up and his neck just snapped and he fell.
Without
like just
there was no attack?
There.
No one else around.
Like an invisible force.
Maybe.
Then we should avoid going in the direction that he came from.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to go full speed into where this guy just got his neck snapped in half.
should we do? Do we go back a little bit, or
Can we? Hey, Jay. Can I do?
Yep.
Can I do like just a? I want to just scour the perimeter that I can see as far as I can see with my eyes, trying to investigate whether or not there's anything out of the ordinary.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Okay. That is a. You guys see it better than I do. That's a 16.
With a 16, you don't seem to notice anything in the close vicinity just yet. It is unnaturally dark in the village right now.
Unnaturally dark.
So worried about what he's taking out of storage bins right now and putting on the table.
Well, hey Julian, can you show
I
the
don't like- I
overcam,
don't like it.
please?
No, don't bother, Julian.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
In the
That's
distance,
us. We're happy.
you don't see anything. It is very, very dark right now. You do, though, hear some movement in the building to your left. What you hear is maybe a whimper.
Is this the same one that we always heard a crying voice from when we were first in this town?
You don't hear that crying, sobbing anymore.
Probably dead by now. Okay.
I'll jump off and knock on that door.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'll follow.
Follow her.
I'll also follow, but I'll try to follow and try to find the darkest crevices, Jay.
Okay,
I'll
so
say
you're gonna try
stay
and stealth
together.
around.
Yep.
Okay, give me a stealth
Don't
check.
get lost.
That is a 24.
Okay. Yeah, with a 24, you have no problem getting off and finding some shadow. So you're going to come
Okay.
off. Who else is...
Ezmerelda and Muskoka.
I'll step out of the Vardo too.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick beside Ezmerelda.
Okay. And you're just going to kind of leave...
Before we run over to that corner,
Yep.
can I check this guy's body and just see how did he die? Like, is it really? It's just from his bones being crumpled. Is he like a duffel bag of vegetable soup right now, or what?
Okay, so you approach the body.
A duffel bag of vegetable soup.
I don't know.
So
That was a
eloquent.
good analogy.
It's,
Okay. As you kind of approach the body, I'd like you to give me a medicine check, please.
A 22. I'm a doctor. It's okay.
With a 22, his clearly was killed instantly by his neck snapping.
Just his neck.
Yes.
It's like a C4 sort of thing, or okay. Okay, I'll rejoin the group as quickly as I can.
But as you kind of inspect him, his neck is like there is nothing left. It's almost like the spine in that area disintegrated to dust. Muskoka, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
I hate this game.
And
17, buddy.
Okay.
17. Hope that's enough.
Immediately, you feel like somebody's watching you. And not just watching you, but their eyes are locked. You have never felt a presence as you do now. Your vision, your mind, your surroundings, everything around you immediately is enraptured by this feeling of utter dismay and doom. The hair, which you have extra of, begins to rise on your neck, on your arms, on your chest. It's weird. And you begin to lift off the ground. Slowly. As Ezmerelda, you see this, Sterling, you turn to see this.
How close am I to him? Within 5 feet?
20 feet at this point.
Oh.
Immediately, and all of a sudden, your body begins to kind of stiffen as you're lifted from the ground.
Gosh.
And you take 15 necrotic damage as you feel the life begin to get sucked from your body.
Do we see this, Jay?
You guys see it
Just
now.
put that life back in.
As Muskoka starts to yell in agony. You are now frightened from a creature that you can't currently see, Muskoka. But you know that this creature is beyond your vision, straight along this thoroughway.
Okay. I would like to...
And you are currently frightened, so you can't move any closer to that creature by your own volition. And you take that damage and you are dropped prone. And you can't move. At this
Muskoka.
point, I'd like you all to roll initiative, please.
Oh, Mother Falpher. That is a 24 for me.
Okay. Sorry, one sec. 24 for Falpher. Sterling?
8.
Dmitri?
13.
Ezmerelda?
11.
Okay. Falpher, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to where's the nearest? I'm trying to look at the screen here and try to find a decent place. So I'm in the shadows. I was already in the shadows, hidden with a really good roll.
Yep.
So I'm going to attempt to identify where this attack is coming from, because we still don't know. We can't see the beast, right?
Right.
Do I get any sense at all of where this attack came from?
Perception
on
check.
Muskoka. Do I get any sense at all where this attack?
I said perception check, please.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
No worries.
That is a perception. That's a 23.
With a 23, you know that this individual was attacked and fell where they stood. Muskoka approached that area, was attacked and fell. So you don't necessarily know the direction that creature is, but you imagine that they have some sort of range that they are on the edge of, that Muskoka stepped into.
Okay.
So you imagine that the attack came from the east, which is the direction that you all were going.
Okay. So I'm going to take an attack, one of my 3 attacks. My first attack, I would like to throw an arrow into just past the area where Muskoka and this body are on the ground. I want to see if there's like an invisible wall, or that's my intent, trying to identify what might be past them. So I'll actually knock it right into the air past them, see if the arrow does anything.
So you're shooting an arrow, or you said you're throwing it?
No, I'm shooting an arrow.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So again, don't forget that you come out of your hide spot, and you fire an arrow into the direction as far as it'll go.
Yeah, but not. Why would I come out of hiding?
Because you do when you attack.
I don't think
attacking or casting a spell always does that.
Okay.
Please fight with him, Joel, because he keeps picking on me.
So I will do that then.
Okay. So you come out of the shadows. You fire your arrow. Are you trying to hit anything, or what's your
My intention is just to identify what kind of like I'm going to aim at behind where these bodies are now, like Muskoka and the other thing.
Okay.
But I'm aware there's nothing there, but I
Right.
want to see if I make anything move, or like I'm trying to
Sure.
fire a warning shot.
Okay.
Effectively.
Okay, so your arrow goes into the air as far as you can, basically, is where you're firing it.
Yeah.
It continues down past almost your vision into the darkness, and you hear an impact on the road some ways down.
And nothing.
No, nothing. Just a quick shout out to Lynx. We're using their condition markers. They sent me a bunch for their Kickstarter, actually, that's live right now. So we're going to use those tonight. That's the Lynx team on Kickstarter, so. Because we need
Which
a frightened
condition
and
markers are we using exactly?
frightened and paralyzed.
I'm frightened. Who's paralyzed?
You.
You
I said
are.
You couldn't move.
I'm paralyzed. I thought I was just frightened.
No, you're
No,
paralyzed.
you're
Now you're bo-
paralyzed
you're-
and frightened.
Oh,
Yeah, you're
I
both,
love doing
buddy.
nothing in this game. That's my favorite.
Don't worry, I'm coming for you.
It's like insult to injury, where it's like you're terrified but you can't move.
Yeah. You're in a sleep paralysis nightmare. Basically.
What do you do?
Am I doing this wrong, Twitch?
I'm gonna hold.
Tell me.
Anything else you want to do, Joel?
Yeah, I'm going to So I'm going to read to you Umbral Sight, and you tell me what you think it says.
Okay.
It says you gain dark vision out to a range of 60 feet or plus 30. So I'm at 60 feet now.
Yep.
If you already have, when in darkness, you are invisible to any creature that relies on dark vision to see you in that darkness. So I am currently in darkness.
Yep.
And so wouldn't I still be invisible to any creature that would rely on dark vision to see me?
You threw an arrow.
Yeah, but you.
If anything, they'd say, hey, this arrow came out of that darkness where nobody is.
Exactly.
Whose side are you on?
I'm
DMs.
still in
Come on,
darkness.
DM.
Yeah. So again, right? So yes, if you were in darkness and there was a creature that happened to have dark vision, then you would absolutely not. They would not be able to see you if you were in darkness. That's all that means. Yeah.
I guess what I'm asking for is, since I am in darkness, doesn't that give disadvantage to the enemy that might not be able to see me? It would basically act like a surprise attack?
No.
No?
No. It just means that they can't see you if you're in darkness.
Okay.
And you guys aren't in utter darkness. There is light in the village. There's just darkness in the distance, and you can't see where the attack came from because it was too far out or whatever the case may be.
Okay, I thought it was very dark. It's kind of what...
No. I mean, there's still some moonlight. It's still dim light. There isn't a lot of torchlight here, but it's evening, so it's not pitch darkness. No.
Okay.
But you would absolutely get that. And you're still outside, right? You weren't in, like when you were hidden, I would say you were in the shadows, but you stepped out, you shot an arrow, and now you can return there if you want. But hide is an action. Okay?
Okay, cool.
All right.
So I'm going to hold my other two attacks until I can identify what this thing is.
Okay. So if something steps out that is dangerous, you're gonna let. Now you can hold your attack action, which includes 2 attacks. So you can't hold the other 2 attacks. You have to either hold your whole attack action. You can't hold specific multi attacks within an attack.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I'm assuming that I had 2 attacks, my extra attack. So both were attack actions.
Yeah, but they all happen within the attack action. They're not attack actions. It's 1 attack action with 2.
Oh, that's right. Except for this one thing here. But go ahead.
Okay, Dmitri, you're up. Ezmerelda, you're on deck.
Just to get like a sense of space, where the spot where the 2 bodies are currently lying, like we saw the first guy run out from the side, right? He came out from the side.
Hey, no, so you turned a corner onto the main thoroughfare, and he was already running down that main street.
Oh, okay. So he's... Okay, so we're on it, and he was already running.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to go up behind and just approach where Muskoka is, just keeping my eyes open, but I want to get to Muskoka and cast protection from good and evil.
Okay.
From evil and good.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was going to do. Now I got to figure something else out.
Okay,
Thank you. Just kidding.
You come around the Vardo, and how close do you want to get to him?
It's a touch spell, so I have to be right up as close as just right up to him. Hopefully it's not too close.
Okay. So
how much space do I need to cover to get to him?
You have to get, basically, if you come out the back, 5, 10, 15, 20, it's your full movement to get to him. And your full movement puts you right beside him. Can we get the overcam up, Julian, please? Large.
Okay, then if I don't have any movement left, then I will...
You can still cast. So you have you've taken your movement to get to him.
Yeah.
You can now reach down and touch him if you want.
Yeah, I will. I'll cast protection from evil and good, and I'll just like kneel down and reach out and cast it with an orange glow, and then that'll be my turn.
Okay, and tell me what protection from good and evil does for the most part, for those at home. Sorry.
Yeah, until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures: aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. The protection grants several benefits. Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target.
Okay.
And the target can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If the target is already charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature, the target has advantage on any new saving throw against the relevant effect.
Okay.
Woo!
Very good. Very nice. Okay. All right. That is your turn. Ezmerelda, you're up.
Listen, I was going to be the big hero and cast that on Muskoka, but Dmitri beat me to it. So I'm going to be selfish, and I'm going to cast it on myself.
Okay.
I almost did that.
That's good. That's good.
Trading secrets.
That's great.
And I'll just stay right where I am.
Okay. All right. Sterling, you're up. Falpher, you're on deck.
All right, so I'm going to use daylight from Driffles and say, "The dawn cometh," and that's going to bring 60 feet of bright light in a sphere out from Driffles, and an additional 60 feet of dim light beyond that. So it's 120 feet of,
wow, okay.
Total. And I'm going to use that light to see if I can see anything. I've got my shield out and my crossbow kind of resting on top. Just kind of...
So it's basically 120 feet of light.
Yes, so 60 feet bright, 60 feet dim.
Okay. Wow. All right. It brightens up the center of the village. All of you kind of like, grab your eyes and kind of have to rub them because of the instant brightness. Give me a perception check, please.
Sure. 19.
Okay. With a 19, you don't see anything in immediate. It's just basically like the area that it illuminates is basically just a brighter version of than it was before.
There's no cry of pain or recoil of darkness.
Nothing.
Or anything. There goes my plan. That's it. Let's go. I guess I'll just hold an attack in case I see something, and then I'll just shoot at it with my crossbow.
Okay. All right, Falpher, you're up.
Okay. having not identified anything yet, so the light hasn't identified anything, I'll just yell out to the darkness and go, "Okay, you dark thing, show yourself. We are here to defeat you. Come on."
DM, do you have my initiative recorded? I rolled a 3. I mean, I know it's kind of symbolic, but
worth knowing. Yeah.
I don't know why you didn't show up, actually. D&D
That's okay.
Beyond.
It's because you're dead.
Weird.
yeah, everybody forgets about Muskoka.
Okay, what was your initiative? 3?
3, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you would have gone after Sterling. Hold on that just for a second, Falpher, just so I can make sure. Hang on.
I will hold.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you don't get a turn, sorry, Muskoka. There's nothing that you can do at this point. So we will continue with Falpher.
Okay, I thought I'd just bring it up anyways.
Yeah,
But
no, it's
doesn't
good.
matter.
Yep.
So
Okay,
yeah.
so Falpher, you start to yell out into the darkness beyond to try and entice
Show
whatever.
yourself. I'm trying to convince him to come out.
Okay.
Or her. Whoever
Yeah.
it is.
Okay. Falpher, I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
That.
I know that's not.
Sorry, wisdom saving throw. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, Jay. Thank you. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
man.
Thank you. That makes a difference. That is a 9, but probably not worth it anyways.
Okay.
9.
Is there anything you want to do with your action? Because you still have an action left, so that wouldn't be your action necessarily.
Yeah. So I'm going to hide.
Okay, so you're gonna yell this out and then hide.
Yep.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
Okay. That is that's a 9.
Okay. Much like, and you said your wisdom saving throw was a 9 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both a
Much
9.
like Muskoka, you are pushed up against the cottage that you were in front of right now, and your body begins to tense as well.
As I'm flexing my muscles. Yeah, I get it.
Jeez, dude.
No. Okay. Am I like off the ground, being held on the wall?
Yeah, you take 23 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
As your body is racked with pain, and you started to yell, and you said what you did, and then you backed off. You were like, "Ha-ha, I'm hidden!" And all of a sudden, you're thrust back against the wall. You take the damage that I just stated, and again, now you are frightened beyond all. You've never felt fear like you feel right now. You are also frightened, and you are also paralyzed.
You have advantage on saving throws against being frightened.
Okay, then I would take that saving throw again, please.
Okay. Ooh, that is a 19.
Okay, so I would say that you are still paralyzed, you are not frightened.
Okay. Yeah!
You have a +9?
Sorry, 18 plus 8.
Okay.
Oh.
Great. All right. Okay. Okay. Ezmerelda, I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
What happened to Falpher?
I just didn't get frightened. I'm still against the wall.
What about your damage? Same damage?
Yeah, the damage was it related to the fear, Jay, or was it?
It
just
was related
necrotic?
to an attack.
Yeah,
of
okay.
sorts, and they were both Yeah, and those effects were in result of that attack.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm very close.
I got a 19.
Okay. You're lucky. You only take 14 points of necrotic damage.
That's lucky?
But I would like you also get
Your health, that's
advantage
great.
on saving throws.
Oh, that's right, I do. No, that'll stand.
That's not enough?
No.
You were also paralyzed.
It's the first. No, it's the first one.
And what's that?
It's the first.
So 19 still the highest?
Yeah.
Okay. You were also frightened and paralyzed.
What?
Well, guys, happy Halloween.
How much? I'm sorry. How much damage was that? 14, you said?
14, yeah.
All right. Well,
When's Tides of Wildmount starting?
you know, we have like a part 2 coming up, right? Or is this
Yeah.
it? Is this our
Wait,
season finale?
Maybe.
It's a viewing. On Monday, it's just a viewing, and people are going to say nice things about us.
Yeah. It's gonna be the eulogy for our characters.
At this point in the distance, you see a creature that, again, is what you imagine 35 to 40 feet tall. Black ebony skin, and you see it way in the distance, some over 250 to 300 feet down this thoroughfare through the village. Its massive horns extend from the sides of its head. It has wisps of black smoke emanating, trailing behind it as it walks through. Lanky, long arms and massive claws. You can see the image of it on the interface there on our screen.
How tall is it?
It's hooved feet, 40 feet?
Sheesh.
35 to 40 feet tall. As it gates down the center, and you can see it was pointing in Ezmerelda's direction and then lowers its hand ever so slowly as it continues to walk in your direction.
Where was my invisible dude?
Which invisible dude?
When I had cast
Sensor?
clairvoyance.
Yeah, you cast it like west, like the opposite way towards Ravenloft.
Oh.
This is east.
Right. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Perfect. Okay.
Dmitri, you're up.
It's cool.
And as that happens, Muskoka, you start to feel a sensation come back into your fingertips, and you start to be able to wiggle your fingertips. It's not your turn yet, but you can feel like that paralyzation is starting to wear off. Dmitri, you're up.
Okay, so how far away is it, did you say?
Some 250 to 300 feet. You're not quite sure the distance.
Okay. So noticing it, I'm just gonna pick up Muskoka and walk him to the back of the Vardo.
Okay.
And just put him on the ground. He and I both behind the Vardo.
Okay. And you guys are basically
Jason,
behind
please don't destroy my Vardo. I just got
it. Okay, you are
You
now.
let us bring it here, though, Ezmerelda.
You are now back behind the Vardo.
He would be pissed.
Oh man.
Okay, you are now back behind the Vardo. That is your turn, sir.
Yes.
Ezmerelda, you're up. Sterling, you're on deck.
What can I do? Because you said I'm paralyzed.
Yeah, you can't do anything. Sterling, you're up.
Oh, thanks. All right, cool.
Problem.
Cool. I'm just gonna sit back.
Oh, man. Jason, you are ruthless.
How far away is this thing?
Sorry, say that again.
How far away is this thing?
Over 250 feet.
Okay, I'm thinking of Ghostbusters 2 here. If this thing is from a negative realm, like a plane of negativity, then can we sing cheerful music to hurt it? I think it might be worth a try. It is not within range of my attacks. So at the top of my lungs.
Yes.
The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
That's exactly right. Oh my goodness. What song do I sing?
Give me a perception check, Sterling.
Gosh. 15.
Okay. With 15, as you're panicked, you hear another whimper from inside of the cottage to your left. And you hear.
I'll take this as a DM hint, not to waste my turn singing.
Nope, you can do whatever you want.
I sing very loudly as I go through this door.
Okay.
A very hopeful and cheerful song.
Okay.
I'll be singing "It's a Small World."
Okay. It's a good one.
And
well, you actually have to sing it.
It's a small world after all. Sorry, there was like Zazu. Okay, so I'll I go through. I'll check inside the door while I'm singing very loudly for all to hear.
Okay, what's the manner of? You're just gonna open the door and walk through. Just clarifying.
I'll slowly open, peek first, and
okay.
Hope.
Okay, you go to open it, and you can feel that it's locked. You imagine it's potentially barred from the inside.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I don't know the name of the song from Ghostbusters, and I don't really know the words either, but I change to that song instead. So that's I'm singing that one.
Okay.
Now. I'm just gonna knock on the door, and while I'm singing, kind of add to the song. And we are here to help you if you need it, and we can distract the thing while you run away, and
persuasion check.
Yes. Persuade.
Just looked up the lyrics for Small World, and it's not a cheery song.
No, it's not.
All right, so it's a good thing I changed songs to whatever that one was that they sing from Lady Liberty and Ghostbusters 2.
Okay, so as you say that, what'd you roll on your persuasion?
6.
A 6, yeah. There's no movement in the house, and it goes completely silent as soon as you start to kind of jiggle the doorknob.
Okay. We are here to help, and if you decide this is your best opportunity to run and save your life, and I'll, because I haven't used my action, I'll still have a held action to shoot at the creature if it comes within range.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
Muskoka, you get feeling back in, and that fear subsides. You are now behind the Vardo with Dmitri. What do you do?
I look around to see where everybody is.
Okay. Yeah. You can see clearly that Sterling is in front of the door to the building to your left. If we can get the overcam again, Julian, sorry. Sterling is in front of the building. Falpher's beside him against the wall currently. Stiff. You and Dmitri are back here. Ezmerelda is over here. Same situation. She's on the other side.
Okay. I want to... Oh, Ezmerelda's like frozen too?
Yes.
Oh.
6 seconds.
I'm going to run over and grab Falpher.
Yep.
And try to drag him back to the cart and put him into the cart.
Into the wagon. Okay, so you're going to walk over him, grab him, and you drag him over, no problem. And I'm going to say that would take an action to open up the cart, throw him in, move, and all that stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Falpher
and I'll say, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here.
Falpher is now safely inside the wagon. Okay. Falpher, you're up. And you begin to feel as well the paralyzation. No, you don't. Never mind. What do you do?
I'm not paralyzed, am I? I am?
Yeah.
Okay.
And frightened.
Not frightened, right, but paralyzed. Okay. I will do nothing. I'll just stand there while Muskoka carries me. That's what I'll do.
Okay.
Can I cast something without movement, Jay?
No. Not well, only if it's... No, you can't even now. No. You're paralyzed. Okay. If you were restrained, yes, as long as it didn't take somatic or anything like that. But yeah, no, not paralyzed.
That's what I thought.
Okay. All right. The horse in front of the wagon. You hear crunching and crippling as the horse begins to almost basically implode in front of that wagon and falls dead.
That's not our horse!
We borrowed it!
Jason, you can't kill someone else's horse!
Also, I will take this moment to remind you that there is a warranty on this Vardo.
You hear also a scream in the distance. And that is muffled. Like a
Why did we agree to do this?
What? Where are we going?
Which I do not say because I'm paralyzed.
Like, hey, let's just stay inside the fence the village with all the fighters.
Falpher and Ezmerelda, you currently start to feel feeling come back into your fingertips, and you feel that fear start to subside. Dmitri, you're up.
Can I cast Cure Wounds on myself? Are we still in initiative?
Yes, we are, and it's Dimitri's turn.
My fear subsides, and yet I'm still terrified.
Dmitri, you're up. Ezmerelda, you're on deck.
Okay. So is there any... I guess at this point, there's no way to, like, notice that Ezmerelda is sort of coming too, right?
No, because you're behind the wagon. Unless you kind of... if you want to peek out, of course. You peek out and you look over, and she's on the ground. You can see her fingers starting to move.
Okay. I'll say,
Sterling, Ezmerelda, it might be safe inside the Vardo.
And I will climb inside the Vardo.
Yep.
At the same time, I'm going to cast Heroism. And I will cast it on myself.
Okay. What does that do?
A willing creature you touch is imbued with bravery. Until the spell ends, the creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier at the start of each of its turns. When the spell ends, the target loses remaining hit points.
Okay.
Yeah, so just immune to being frightened.
You're immune to being frightened.
How brave of you.
And you get hit points, spell. Right?
Yes.
I forgot to mention.
What now?
Oh, it's too late.
No,
That's what
it's
you'd
not.
say to us.
No. Oh, never mind. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're good.
We're pushing our luck now, guys. We're definitely about to die.
You're screwed anyway. You might as well.
Okay. Ezmerelda, you're up. Sterling, you're on deck.
I will get up. Is getting up an action, or is that...
Nope.
Like
half your movement.
How's half my movement? Okay. Do I have enough movement to get inside the Vardo?
Yes, I believe you do.
Can I speak when she goes to go to the Vardo and say, "There is no horse"?
I hear this.
Was this a one-horse open sleigh, or was there two horses?
One horse.
Okay, so Jason, at this point, do we know what kind of creature we're dealing with? Whether it's like an undead, or do we know enough? Nat 20. Finally, something good.
Done.
Something
you know,
good.
if it came from the negative plane, it's probably undead. because life cannot exist on the negative plane, other than by some miraculous means.
All right, so when I get inside the Vardo, I will cast Magic Circle.
Okay.
Against undead.
Okay. How long does that take to cast?
1 minute.
Okay. So just start counting your rounds as it stands now. Okay?
Okay.
You have 1 round. You're 1 round in.
Okay.
Okay. Sterling, you're up. Muskoka, you're on deck.
How many seconds is one? So how many?
6 seconds a round, so 10 rounds.
Okay. Wish me luck, guys.
How many people are still outside of the Vardo? Just myself and Dmitri?
Just you and Dmitri, yep.
All right. So I'm singing This Little Light of Mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Just, making sure Driffles is right out in the open. And I'm kind of like walking towards the Vardo.
Yeah.
And I nod to Dmitri to it's clear to go into if he's planning. And I head into the Vardo.
Okay.
Still yelling at the top of my metallic robot voice.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Muskoka is also still outside the Vardo, so it's just Dmitri and Muskoka.
Okay.
Out back.
Does it look like Muskoka is?
He's fine. Well, he's standing.
Okay. I might start like tugging him as I'm going to the Vardo to try to like pull him there at half movement, I guess. Or you know what? When I walk past him, I'll kind of tug his shirt.
Yeah.
Or like his, and I'll head into the Vardo.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still have an action.
Yeah, man. I'll have one of the Vardo shutters open with, crossbow at the ready, and that's going to be my thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Muskoka, you're up. Falpher, on deck.
Okay. When you said that I locked eyes with the creature, did I get a sense of how far away it was when we locked eyes?
So you didn't lock eyes. You just felt like you were being watched. So it was a feeling of being watched. You actually didn't lock eyes, but you knew the direction that this creature was. You can see the creature now. You kind of look around the corner. You come back. It's about 200, just over 200 feet away from the wagon.
That's pretty far away. That's terrible. Okay, so who's outside at this point? Just me and Sterling.
Just you and Dmitri. Sterling just went in the wagon. He kind of tugged on your shirt and went in the wagon.
Okay, so I'll say to Sterling, like, how do you know we're going to be safe? I put Falpher in there so that we could leave, and then the horse died.
I have no idea. I've got no idea.
The crying inside the building. I mean, there's crying inside of some of the buildings. Is that what we're hearing?
I don't know who heard. I can't remember. I know Falpher heard it the second time, and Sterling heard it, but I don't know if you actually ever heard it.
Because I was paralyzed.
Yeah.
Do I have any reason to believe that we're just going to be okay in the Vardo?
Give me a survival check.
I can hear Julian laughing in the other room.
I heard that.
Yeah. He's mocking us. Julian. He's mocking us to the whole community of people who are also laughing at us.
Yeah,
for these stupid decisions.
Suicide. No, I don't have that.
The plot team is laughing at us.
I got nothing. I'm gonna use my.
What'd you roll?
11. It's an 11.
Hell no.
Yeah, I wasn't even bringing it up. I'm gonna use my shifting feature. Transformation lasts 1 minute or until I die. Probably gonna be that one.
Okay.
Or until you revert to your normal appearance as a bonus action. It's not gonna be that one. I get 6 temporary HP.
Okay. All right. Falpher, you're up.
Yep.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds at the second level.
Wait. I got movement. I got movement.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, you do have movement.
I got movement. I get in the Vardo and I shut the door.
And shut the door on Dmitri?
He's got a turn coming up. He can open it.
Okay.
Wow, and this is why you almost die.
Falpher, you're up.
Every episode. Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Yep.
For a total of 12 points of healing.
Okay.
Okay, and then I will look around inside the Vardo, having regained some of my strength, and go, are we safe in here, or should we not find someplace more secure, perhaps?
Currently, Ezmerelda is casting something in the middle of the Vardo.
What are you doing?
I ignore him. I'm
Okay.
concentrating.
Okay.
Same response.
That's it.
That's
My
it.
turn.
All right. Who entered into the Vardo first? You did, right, Falpher?
Yep. Actually, yeah, technically, it was Sterling who was in there first, right?
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I'd like
No,
everyone in the
fix it.
Vardo to make a perception check, please.
Okay.
18.
Oh, good. Dirty 20.
Another nat 20.
Okay, that's a
Okay, whatever.
All right. Let's let
Perception.
Ezmerelda do all the rolls.
What do you mean that's why I die every game?
22.
I help people. That's why I die.
Pretty sure I had gone in the Vardo too.
I'm assuming
I'm done helping others first. Just so you
Brandon,
know.
Driffles.
helping,
What
you
are
just
you doing with
like, oh, let me
Driffles? Is
just run
Driffles
up and-
casting daylight inside the Vardo?
So I can't hear you, Jay.
I said, is Driffles casting daylight inside the Vardo right now?
It would be because it's
Okay.
floating like a balloon.
Okay. So as you all are kind of like, what do we do? What do we do? Kind of like circling around the Vardo. Anybody with a 20 and up, I'd say actually anybody with a 15 and up, you're kind of looking out the windows. You keep checking to see how close this creature is. And you see it kind of crest the end of the... It's not high enough. The end of the street there at the end of the block.
That's high enough right there, Jay. Don't want to see any more of it.
By the way, thank you, WizKids, for
As
sending
it
this
begins
to us.
to approach. Dmitri, you are up.
But not for long.
What do you do? You're still outside the Vardo.
I closed the door. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, man. What are we going to do?
I'll open the door. And I'll
So
like
one
now,
reason open the door.
And you know what?
now that I have the door open,
Yeah.
am I able to see the creature just looking through the Vardo?
No, you wouldn't be able to. The windows are really small. So as you open it up, it's kind of hard. You'd have to actually kind of like almost be at the window to be able to kind of see. And this bright light, like the light of day, is inside of this Vardo. So you'd have to get right up to the window to see through the lightness to the darkness.
Okay.
Do you get into the Vardo?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my plan.
Okay. As you start to enter the Vardo,
Join us as we all hide in
just
Vardo.
to your left,
The thing is literally going to
You
throw
see-
the Vardo.
you see two familiar children standing at the side of the building.
Are those the dirt?
forget 'em.
children?
Are those
A older female child and a younger child that look a lot like Rose and Thorn
Oh, no way.
from the manor that you started this adventure out in. And Rose, they stand kind of looking at you, heads cocked to the side, and Rose waves.
I yell out to one of them.
You don't,
"Hey, kids,
you don't see them. That's Dmitri. Joel.
aren't we inside the Vardo?
Yeah,
Doesn't it
and
have
Dmitri
windows?
is outside. He's getting in. He looks to the left up the alley, and he sees these two children standing there.
So, but we looking out who just did like really good perception checks, we cannot see the kids.
No, because you are focused on the 40-foot rain of death that is coming down the street.
Fair enough.
Oh, it's you. I'll wave back.
Thorn waves back the little boy.
Do you know what's going on?
No answer.
What do you suggest we do?
No answer.
All right, I'll turn. Hey guys, it's the children from before. Remember the rather ghoulish-looking ones?
Not paying attention.
You turn back, they're gone.
What? They were just there.
Dmitri, it's not time for games.
I wouldn't try to pull one over on you right now. I was still trying to figure out exactly what it is we're dealing with.
I am already very, very tired of this place.
Me as well.
Ezmerelda, that is another round for you. Dmitri,
Still
you want to take an
concentrating.
action?
Who has the paints? Is it me who has the paints?
I think I gave it to Dmitri.
Yeah, Dmitri.
I wouldn't give it to Falpher. I remember that part.
Right.
The fireball necklace.
Oh yeah.
Who's got the fireball necklace? That's what I want to know.
Roan.
Roan does.
Oh.
Did that survive the Vardo explosion?
The what? Sorry?
The paint?
The fireball necklace.
You guys don't have it.
No, yeah, we didn't have it. It was Roan who had it.
Gotcha.
But we do have the paints, right, Dmitri? You have the paints. You have the paints, Dmitri.
I believe I do.
Yeah. How good that you are drawing? How good are you at drawing quickly?
Well, I have been known to sketch every now and then.
We need a horse right away.
Ah. It's worth a try. I will sit on the outside stoop of the back of the Vardo and start to
just
paint a
picturing-
horse.
I'm picturing that meme where the little kid drew the duck.
You get back out of the Vardo and you start to draw a horse, is that right?
Oh my gosh.
I'm still...
Julian's probably peed himself by now.
I can hear him
with a
laughing his head
two-dimensional
off in the
horse.
other room. Okay, so you're going to try and draw a horse, is that right?
Yeah, well, I'll take it out and I'll second guess. Are you sure, Falcon?
I don't know. How else are we going to get out of here?
It was... Can you just make an animal? I thought it was
Just make a door to anywhere. You want to get out of here? Let's just make a door to somewhere else.
It would just
6 seconds.
be a door to the floor, right? Straight to the ground.
6 seconds.
It's worth a try. I'll start painting.
You go out the back door and you start painting a
Yeah,
horse.
but I just want to have the door open.
Okay.
Because, like, what am I painting on, I guess?
What are you painting?
You can kind of paint in the air, I would imagine. Like you can, and it kind of starts to like take shape as you kind of contour it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sterling, you're up. Muskoka, you're on deck.
Yeah, so I open the door and I let Driffles kind of sit outside the door, so it's shining the bright light out there.
Okay.
And I'm peeking through to see if the light is doing anything to harm the creature now that it's closer.
No. Doesn't seem to be. Although now it is in full, well, not full, it's in dim light. And you can see, again, its eyes burning bright blue.
And my singing isn't helping the situation?
No. Your singing is not helping.
All right. Then how far is it from me?
Right now it's about 100 feet from the wagon. And from
All right.
from you, it's about 115 feet.
Okay, I turn back to everybody inside, and I'm going to say, run, save yourselves. And I'm going to step out of the vardo, and I'm going to fire at it twice.
Okay.
Oh, watch, that's my horse.
Isn't that the equivalent of splitting the party?
No, I'm just outside and you guys are inside. But if you run away, then it is splitting the party. But if you survive, it's worth it.
So you come out, you
casting a spell over here.
You duck around the corner and you fire, I'm assuming, of the vardo?
So, yeah. So kind of giving myself like half cover.
Yep.
But like I want to be outside the vardo, but, you know, in cover.
Okay.
That's a 12 and an 18 to hit.
They both hit. 18 hits.
The 18 hits. Okay. That's 7 points of damage, non-magical.
Okay. And you see this crossbow bolt launch, goes the distance, and hits it straight in the chest, seemingly unaffected by it. Not unaffected, but like unbothered by the damage. That was
Run. Okay.
Muskoka, you're up. Falpher, you're on deck.
How far away is this thing?
100 feet from the wagon.
Oh my gosh. But we're okay. We're doing okay in here. I'm gonna say, Dmitri, you're crazy. You can't. If you're paying a horse, he's just gonna die. Like, just get back in here. Sterling, if you think you're okay, pull the cart. I closed the door.
Okay.
The cart's fastened to a dead horse, man. We gotta undo the horse.
You paint another horse, he's just gonna die. I don't know. Do I have any ale in my equipment here? No, I don't. I'm gonna have some of my ointment though.
Are you gonna start a Molotov cocktail and throw it at the thing?
I'm just gonna sit back down in the vardo. I'm gonna open up one of my ointments. And I'm just gonna and I'm just gonna eat it.
Ew.
It can be applied topically, yes, but I've chosen to ingest it.
Okay.
Gross
Falpher, you're up.
and not paying attention to you.
Who's up?
You're up.
I'm gonna cure wounds again.
Okay.
That is cool. Oh, nice. 13 points of healing. I'm back up.
Just
Cool.
got 9 points of healing.
And I will. I'm in the Vardo. I'm looking at Sterling, gone out, feeling like this is crazy. And I'll go and join him. There's no reason you should do this alone, my friend.
I said run.
I run up to Sterling and go, no, I will hold my ground with you. If this is the end, it is the end. I'd rather fight beside you than away from you, my friend.
Then we die as brothers today.
Yeah. And wait a second. Did I use my action? Yes, I did. Never mind. Okay, that's it.
Okay. As you watch this creature, it starts to slowly lift as if hovering and drifts
It seems that you're moving it closer to us, Jay. I'm not sure. I can't tell perfectly.
It drifts 80 feet. If Julian can give us a close-up here of the creature as it approaches. All right, we took a look to see the kids. As it approaches the Vardo.
Ah!
Mm-hmm. I turn to Sterling and say, no, I was being serious. This might be the end.
There is instantly a crack of thunder from above as you see lightning begin to strike to the left and the right of the Vardo. You hear the sound of rushing wind as the impact hits right in front of the creature. The dust from the ground beginning to rise As the dust begins to settle, stands a man in black, tattered robes, his hands crackling with eldritch energy, and that is where we're going to end the session for this evening. Thank you all for watching. We need to wrap this up really quick because Night of Dread, again, Matt Lillard's awesome first session as a DM happens in 1 minute on the D&D Twitch and the D&D YouTube. Tune in not tomorrow night, tune in Monday night for part 2 of our season finale of Into the Mist. Thanks all for watching. You guys have a good night. Bye.
Hey guys!